Welcome to Mind Mechanics Lab, where we decode the most fascinating stories from history, science, and the world around us. Today's discovery will change how you see things. Let's dive in. Imagine something so powerful, so utterly inescapable, that once you cross a certain line, there's no going back. Not even light, the fastest thing in the universe, can break free. This isn't just a terrifying thought experiment from a sci-fi thriller. It's a very real phenomenon in our cosmos. The black hole. These cosmic monsters warp space and time, swallowing everything in their path, leaving only an event horizon, a boundary of no return. But what if I told you that these terrifying astronomical bodies aren't just out there in the cold vacuum of space? What if similar forces, psychological black holes, exist right here, in our businesses, our careers, and even our own minds? Forces that exert an invisible pull, drawing us towards a point of no return, often without us even realizing it until it's too late. Think about the iconic xenomorph from Ridley Scott's 1979 film, Alien. That creature, a truly terrifying monster, was brought to life by Bolaji Badejo, a Nigerian visual artist standing at an imposing 6 feet 10 inches. His height and very long legs convinced Scott to cast him, and Badejo's mild-mannered, withdrawn presence on set ironically made the creature even more unnerving. He effectively embodied an unstoppable, terrifying force, a monster that once unleashed could not be reasoned with or escaped. Today, we're going to decode the mechanics of these cosmic leviathans, and more importantly, explore how their principles offer a chillingly accurate blueprint for understanding some of the most profound successes and failures in the business world. Get ready to confront the universe's most terrifying monsters, and perhaps your own. For centuries, the idea of an object so dense, so massive, that nothing could escape its grasp was pure science fiction. In the late 18th century, English astronomer John Michel and French scientist Pierre-Simon Laplace independently proposed these dark stars, with Michel calculating that a star 500 times the radius of our sun, but with the same density, would trap all emitted light. He even hypothesized they could be detected by their gravitational pull on nearby visible bodies. Yet, for nearly 2 centuries, these concepts remained largely theoretical, a mathematical curiosity. Many physicists, including Arthur Eddington in 1926, were deeply skeptical, critiquing the idea as a flaw in the then poorly understood theory of general relativity. Even Albert Einstein, whose 1915 general theory of relativity provided the very framework for black holes, attempted in 1939 to prove their impossibility, missing the critical scenario of an unstoppable implosion. This skepticism mirrored the initial reception of many groundbreaking business ideas, from the internet to electric vehicles, dismissed as absurd until their undeniable gravitational pull on the market became too strong to ignore. The journey of the black hole, from a theoretical oddity to a cornerstone of astrophysics, offers a powerful lesson. What seems impossible today might just be an inescapable reality tomorrow, demanding our attention and understanding. So what exactly is this cosmic monster? At its core, a black hole is an astronomical body so compact that its gravity is so immense it prevents anything, including light, from escaping. Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, which describes gravity as the curvature of space-time, accurately predicted their existence. Imagine space and time not as a fixed stage, but as a flexible fabric. A massive object like a star creates a dent in this fabric. A black hole, however, creates an infinitely deep well. The critical boundary of no escape is called the event horizon. Once you cross this line, whether you're a beam of light, a star, or an unfortunate astronaut, you're trapped. General relativity predicts that crossing this boundary produces no locally detectable change. You wouldn't immediately feel a difference, but your fate would be sealed. Beyond the event horizon lies the central singularity, a point where the curvature of space-time becomes infinite. This is the ultimate point of no return, a concept that resonates deeply when we look at certain business decisions or personal habits. It's a force so dominant, so absolute that it redefines everything around it, creating a new reality where the old rules simply no longer apply. Despite their invisibility, black holes are far from undetectable. Their presence is inferred through their powerful interactions with matter and electromagnetic radiation. Matter falling into a black hole doesn't just vanish silently. It forms an accretion disk of superheated plasma, glowing brightly from friction before being swallowed. In extreme cases, this creates a quasar, some of the brightest objects in the universe, shining across billions of light years. We can also detect them when two black holes merge, generating ripples in space-time, known as gravitational waves. And if stars orbit a black hole, their erratic motions betray the invisible behemoth's mass and location. This is how astronomers identified Cygnus X1 in 1971 as the first widely accepted black hole, and later established that Sagittarius A(ON), at the core of our own Milky Way galaxy, contains a supermassive black hole of about 4.3 million solar masses. These are not abstract concepts. They are measurable, observable phenomena with profound effects. In business, similarly, the invisible forces like market shifts, cultural rot, or an unaddressed competitive threat might not be immediately obvious, but their effects, declining revenue, increased churn, talent exodus, are undeniable. Like a black hole, their presence is confirmed, not by seeing them directly, but by observing their devastating impact on everything around them. Now let's pull this back to the mind mechanics lab. The black hole's event horizon isn't just a cosmic boundary. It's a powerful metaphor for psychological and business points of no return. Think about decisions in your career or business. There are moments when a choice, once made, irrevocably changes your trajectory. It could be launching a new product, acquiring a competitor, or even a personal commitment to a toxic habit. Before the event horizon, you have options, levers to pull, paths to diverge. But once you cross it, once the merger is complete, the product launched to market, or the habit ingrained, the internal and external forces align in such a way that retreat becomes virtually impossible or prohibitively costly. The gravity of sunk costs, reputation, team morale, or market momentum pulls you forward. This is where the initial skepticism and later acceptance of black holes resonates. Often we ignore the subtle signs leading to an event horizon, dismissing them as minor issues, only to find ourselves trapped in a situation where the escape velocity required to break free exceeds our capacity. Understanding this psychological event horizon is crucial for strategic decision-making, allowing us to recognize the thresholds that, once crossed, dictate an entirely new reality. These black holes manifest in countless ways in the business world. Consider a company that, in pursuit of rapid growth, takes on excessive debt or merges with a fundamentally incompatible partner. Initially, it might seem like a smart move, but the combined gravitational pull of financial burden or cultural clash can become an event horizon. Beyond that point, all resources are consumed just to stay afloat, and the company's trajectory becomes fixed, often towards collapse. Similarly, in careers, an individual might become so specialized in a dying industry or so entrenched in a toxic corporate culture that their career event horizon is crossed. The skills they've developed, the network they've built, and even their identity are so tightly bound to that specific system that escaping feels impossible, even when the system itself is failing. Just as a black hole grows by absorbing mass, companies can grow by acquiring competitors, talent, or market share. But unchecked, this growth can also lead to a supermassive black hole of complexity, bureaucracy, or market dominance that stifles innovation and eventually implodes under its own weight. These are not just failures. They are the result of reaching an event horizon from which there is no return, where past choices dictate an inevitable future. The physics of black holes also teaches us about nuance and complexity. Not all black holes are the same. Stellar black holes form from collapsing stars, while supermassive black holes, like Sagittarius A Rho, are millions of solar masses and reside at galactic centers. And then there's the concept of Hawking radiation, which predicts that black holes slowly lose mass over incredibly vast timescales, while even the smallest observed stellar black holes are currently gaining mass faster than they lose it from the cosmic microwave background. The theory suggests a slow, eventual dissipation. This complexity has parallels in business. Not every irreversible decision leads to catastrophe. Some event horizons are manageable, leading to new stability rather than collapse. Think of companies like white dwarf stars, where quantum mechanical pressure balances gravity, as explored by Ralph Fowler and Subramanian Chandrasekhar in the 1920s and 30s. They are stable, dense, and don't collapse further. But when a star exceeds a certain mass limit, as predicted by Chandrasekhar and later Oppenheimer and Volkoff for neutron stars, the degeneracy pressure can no longer withstand gravity, leading to an unstoppable collapse. Understanding these mass limits in business, the thresholds beyond which growth becomes unsustainable or a strategy becomes self-destructive, is critical. It's about recognizing the critical point where opposing forces like innovation versus stability can no longer balance, and an inevitable outcome is set in motion. So what's the actionable lesson here? The key to navigating your own psychological and business black holes is awareness, foresight, and early intervention. First, recognize that event horizons exist. Not every decision is reversible, and some choices carry an irreversible gravitational pull. Be vigilant for the subtle signs of these black holes forming around you, be it in a business strategy, a team dynamic, or a personal habit. Second, understand your mass limits. Just as stars have limits before collapse, businesses and individuals have thresholds for growth, complexity, or risk. Pushing past these without understanding the underlying mechanics can lead to an unstoppable gravitational collapse. Third, and most crucially, act before you cross the event horizon. Once you're inside, escape is impossible. This means rigorous due diligence, scenario planning, and a willingness to course correct early, even when it's uncomfortable. It means fostering a culture where dissent is valued and red flags are not ignored. By understanding the mechanics of these cosmic monsters, we gain a powerful lens through which to examine our own decisions, identify the invisible pulls, and ultimately steer clear of our own points of no return. Don't wait until you're spiraling into the singularity. Observe the interactions, understand the forces, and make your move while you still have control. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button. New discoveries every Tuesday and Friday. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring.